Hello Capricorn, welcome back to Astrology Bliss. Long time no see, I know. So, no little spiel, I will get right into your reading. So, the first thing that I wanted to touch on is that I've had this really weird, awful back pain all day. And, you know, I have back pain all the time. My back is like a breeding ground for knots. It's pretty awful. And this is a weird pain, though. It was a knot, but it was like this massive knot in an area that I don't normally get them. And, you know, rarely I will just have this inkling to look up the spiritual reason for some kind of ailment I'm experiencing that moment. And interestingly enough, so for the pain being in the middle of my back, closer to my upper spine, this talks about emotional insecurity. And we all have emotional insecurity at some point. But for it to manifest as something physical, there's different ways that this can show itself. And there's a type of emotional insecurity where you are so dependent on other people for validation. And then there's the type of emotional insecurity where to get where you think you need to be for emotional security, you become cold and detached in pursuit of your own ambitions, and you can end up seriously hurting the people around you who love you or are close to you, or anyone really. So, yeah, I mean, emotional insecurity is a big theme that I think, I don't know, I got this random feeling that I had to do Capricorn's reading and that I had to look up this back pain. So I think that's an important message for somebody. You know, I'm not somebody who does well with, like, setting a view of, like, oh, I need exactly 3 weeks to do this. I'm terrible at planning. So basically, what I'm going to say is, whenever you see this video, I think that's when you're supposed to get this message, and you can fit it into your life however you'd like to. For all intents and purposes, let's say it's for July, but if this stuff is already showing up, take it as is. Okay. All right. Need more room or maybe smaller tarot cards. Just kidding. I like the size of these. The mini decks really weird me out. I'm just like, why are they so small? I don't know. Okay. I know you guys are Capricorn, so I'm trying to be as efficient as possible here. Okay. My cat, Carl, is here, and I am kind of terrified that he's going to jump up here and attack my tarot cards because for whatever reason he hates them. And here he is. I just gave him a treat that's supposed to be calming, so hopefully that works. Carl, hello. Want to come say hi? Come here. You can see him. All right. Just make sure you guys can see the cards here. Okay. So I like to do, you know, it's like a past, present, future with a little more substance behind it. So the energy that I have going into this spread is the Strength card. Okay? So what I think this is, you know, you're going into this period of okay, so if you look at this woman, right? The lion looks like, what the fuck is this bitch doing? Like, why is she holding me down? Like, nervous. Like, I wasn't expecting anyone to do that. Almost like you didn't, like, if you think of somebody who's constantly, like, growling at you, right? And it's finally kind of going at that person, being like, stop. And with you saying stop, it's like, you know, this lion in your life is like, what do you mean stop? Okay. Because, you know, you're finally standing up for yourself in some way and you're channeling that inner strength. So in the past, we have the Three of Wands. Okay? In reverse. So the Three of Wands, especially what I'm seeing here, the Three of Wands is all about, you know, essentially like waiting because you've put in the work, you've put in the effort, and you're like, okay, well, where are my treats? I put in the work, so let's bring them, right? So you're waiting on your treats, right? But you're doing it. Here I'm seeing it's a dark setting, right? You know, maybe you're working at home, in your office, at night, on your computer, in your living room, wherever. Maybe you have a cat with you. And you're kind of just like, you're waiting. But it's almost like you're waiting for nothing. You know, it's like you're seeing what you want, but it's not showing up. Like, did it miss the train? Because I think this is the train, but it's not here. Okay. So, you know, you could be coming out of a time that's, you know, maybe you realize you're waiting on the wrong thing, or you realize you're waiting in the wrong place. Or maybe you realize that waiting isn't the best course of action to be taking for it at all. Next, you have the Chariot. And I see this as relating to translocation. I see strongly that it's like a fire was lit under you in some way, and you're like, okay, why am I waiting here? I need to be doing stuff over there. And it's like someone lit a fire under you, and you're like, all right, let's go. And you suddenly get the fire and the passion to leave this place that had you feeling like the Five of Cups, which is putting it in reverse. And you know, in this deck, if you look at the Five of Cups, it's a huge energy for wallowing. Just like, I don't know, if you think about a Disney princess, they're like sobbing on their bed, they look beautiful, and they're just like, you know, and it's like, somehow when they cry, they're very pretty criers, but it's like, ultimately nobody's going to help you if you do that. And it's like you need to channel the energy in order to pull yourself out of that situation that's making you want to wallow and, change it. So currently, in the present, you have the King of Pentacles in the reverse. It could be that, maybe you were stuck in a time where you felt like you didn't have enough. You weren't good enough, so you thought. And now it's like you've been given something, or you manifested something, whether that's power, whether that's money, whether that's something like that. With it being in the reverse, you're not using it correctly, or you're so focused on the material that you're neglecting the emotional. And that was another thing with the back pain. You can be so focused on your material security and feeling like you're not supported enough to where it becomes obsessive. Like, I don't have enough, I don't have enough. Meanwhile, it's like, you have plenty, but you are going to lose emotional support if you are too focused on having material support, and vice versa. The next, you have the Hermit in the reverse. And yes, so, in the past you spent a lot of time alone, trying to figure it out alone, reflect on what you need to do, or just, honestly, nobody knew what the hell you were doing, and that's fine. We all need time like that. But you're coming out of that and you're saying, okay, well, I'm out. I have this new thing, whatever it is. Again, money, power, influence, whatever. And you're like, all right, I'm out. And I see that having to do with your creativity, or it in the very least ignited, this creative passion, this creative power that you had, but was dormant. That could also be this lion. Because here it is again. Interestingly, this is a female lion, and this is a male lion, actually. So this could also be getting more in tune with feminine. This can be learning to tune into your intuition and not ignoring it. This could be learning to tap into your, softer creative abilities. This could be painting. This could be like, music. This can be just something really emotional. And I'm not saying musicians are feminine. Listen, I'm a musician. Sure, you know what? I'm kind of feminine. I'm very feminine. But I feel that in order to create something successful, I feel like the masculine energy is what takes the creative thing and it pushes it outward. It wants to share it. It wants to, light a fire under it and show it. But in the creation process, when you're writing the song, when you're, that is channeling into your feminine power. Emotions, water, that's all run by the feminine. And so when I'm seeing this Queen of Wands upright with the female lion, I'm seeing a really strong tuning into your feminine power, and that is okay. Everyone, in order to be balanced, needs a healthy balance of masculine and feminine, yin-yang. In the future, we have the Six of Cups in the reverse. Okay. So, one second. What I'm getting from this card in this deck is almost a refusal to confront your inner child. And when I say your inner child, I'm talking about the things that we experience as a kid. that maybe weren't so pretty, that were difficult, where maybe we felt abandoned, neglected, or pushed aside. We felt alone. And, I feel like either you are the parent who is, here, look at the woman. See the older woman? It's like the look in her eye is like, okay, good luck, kid. And it's like the little kid is like, what? And it could either be that you're the parent and you're kind of refusing to address, the loneliness that your children may have experienced while you're raising them. Or you could be the child and maybe you're an adult now, right? And we don't realize how much feelings of abandonment and isolation and neglect from when we were little children actually affect who we are now and our actions now. It can be that that's what your parents did to you, and you might not even realize you're doing it to your children. And I think that there's a strong need to slow down on whatever it is you're charging ahead with, and actually try and reflect and look on, who you may be hurting, or unresolved issues that you would like to walk away from to do something else, but you can't leave something like the way that it is at the moment. And I think what that's going to call for is a change in your perception. So the Hanged Man in this deck, well, not just in this deck, but I've talked about this in another reading. What was it? Man, I actually have to look up what the story is, but it's some Buddhist story. Okay, I can't remember anything about this story, so that's embarrassing. I tried to find the story so I could, but I couldn't. But anyway, the concept of hanging upside down. You're looking down, I was going to say hallway, but since this is a beautiful deck where everything is looking down a forest path, let's say you're walking in the woods, right? It's quiet, you don't hear anybody honking outside. You're just hearing leaves crunch under your feet, right? And you're looking down this path. It looks beautiful, but it looks the same, right? Maybe somebody, I don't know what I was going to say there, but so you want to experiment with something. You hang upside down, and you're now hanging upside down on this path, say for like 15 minutes. We'll ignore the fact that blood is probably rushing your head, right? A lot of it. And, your friends have been telling you, oh, you have to go hiking here. It's beautiful. And suddenly, on the path that everyone takes whenever they go to this place, you notice how rundown the ground is. You notice there's not even clear footprints anymore, but it's a very carved out path in the dirt. And this is the way that you're expected to go unless you stop and pause, hang upside down. And you notice that just to the left, there's a path that is barely worn, and there's these bright pink flowers. And you want nothing more than to go pick one of those pink flowers and bring it to your mother, right? Now, if you hadn't stopped and hung upside down, you would have walked right past them. And you would have gone home, made dinner, whatever it is you would do, And you would have missed the chance. It's a small little way to connect, but you would have missed a chance to connect with your mother by giving her that flower. Hopefully this isn't too abstract to understand, but the point is, the path that looks carved out for you, I think, is in need of some serious reflection and pause, because I think you're going to see there's a few things that you are missing, and more opportunities for emotional fulfillment than you would have if you just go straight forward. And I think by doing this, you're going to notice that there are people around you who you've been neglecting. And by giving yourself the time to pause and reevaluate what you're doing, where you're going, and what you're missing, you're going to see that there are some people who really need you, who have given to you and been there for you, that you're about to essentially leave feeling forgotten, abandoned. And, you know, it's interesting. And you're getting the chance to patch over the things that need fixing before you go. And that path is still going to be there for you. You know, the ground is carved, it is ready for you to go. You have the chance to fix things ahead of time. Now, I wanted to pick 2 cards to go with the energy moving out of the reading, and which are 2 4s. And interestingly enough, the bottom of the deck is a 4 as well. So generally 4s are about pause, standing still, right? And going out of the reading, we have the 4 of Wands in the reverse and the 4 of Cups in the reverse. 4 of Cups, speaking of dissatisfaction with something beautiful, right? And I'm not saying that, whatever's in front of you, you have to love, but by only focusing on your dissatisfaction, you could really be missing what's beautiful with what you have. It could also be contemplation. You have the 4 of Wands in the reverse. 4 of Wands is usually about celebration or family, stability, stuff like that, but it's reason to celebrate. And I think by getting out of yourself and channeling your energy into the people who are, waiting for you to connect with them before you go wherever you're going to go, you're going to give yourself and them the ability to let go of all of the deep psychological crap that you've all been holding on to. Of course, the card under the 4 of Pentacles in reverse is the Fool. I just got chills when I said that. Yeah. And, I know you have this energy of, I want to go, and I want to go right now because it's amazing. But tie up the loose ends. And I don't mean just tie up and cover up what you want to cover up. If the ends seem already tied to you, hang upside down. Get some new perspective. Maybe open them up and see what has been tied away. Okay? Clean it out, fill it with love, and then you can go on this new journey and new beginning that you're about to go on. Okay, Capricorn, that is what I have for you. You have a huge new start. Whatever you're doing, I really do feel like will be emotionally fulfilling for you. But just don't forget to, share that fulfillment with others who deserve it first. If you haven't already liked this video, commented because you want to talk about my cat or me or whatever, and you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do. And my website is kind of up, but not really fully functional yet, so stay tuned for that. But thank you guys so much for being here, and I will talk to you soon.